Okay. What I was saying on my alt account was that like a lot of streamers are like trying, or a lot of streamers are even talking about like whether or not they should play the new JK Rowling Hogwarts. It's not even JK Rowling, but like the new Hogwarts Legacy game, which I personally think is good that they're even having that conversation. Like, that's an unimaginable conversation that streamers would be having behind closed doors, in my opinion. Like, the fact that people are like, wow, this is actually like, JK Rowling is very anti-trans, like, maybe we shouldn't play this. Like, that's fire. Okay? My own personal opinion on this sort of commodity consumption is that, like, it's silly as fuck. You know what I mean? It's just so insanely silly. Like, I don't give a fuck. If I don't play this on stream or don't play it in general, it will be because it's 1A, most likely mid, okay? Or 2B, too much backlash and it's not worth it. Like, I'll just explain it like that so that we get that out of the way, because I personally don't give a shit about that, and I think it's so silly. I don't think people are going to genuinely be able to make a consumer side like boycott on a game like this. And not only that, but also it's counterproductive as well. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, you're not like, JK Rowling already has made the money off of Harry Potter. You know what I mean? Like, she already did it. Like, you're what you think, like you're destroying Harry Potter or something? Like, what the fuck? It's like getting mad at going to the Universal Studios Harry Potter world, you know what I mean? Because JK Rowling is associated with the brand. It's like, it's done. She's a billionaire. I don't know if you guys know that. And also, like, she didn't make this game. A bunch of developers did, right? Do you think you're gonna create transphobes by playing this? What? No. Anyway, yeah, like 1,000 people worked on the game. We have developers in this chat that have worked on the game. Like, I just don't give a shit overall on consumer activism of that sort, because, like, the game is also being seen as anti-Semitic because of the story. That is even funnier. It's like, yeah, okay. Like, every video game we play has, like, weird-ass fucking plot points that you could consider. I don't know if it is. JK Rowling has made, like, the whole goblins that are, like, the anti-Semitic depictions of Jewish people happen to control all the money or whatever, but, like, you know, I play COD all the fucking time, and you guys love that shit. You know what I mean? So, as far as like, oh, the goblins are this or whatever the fuck, yeah, I play video games with, like, expressly and openly imperialist propaganda baked into its main storyline deliberately. So, me playing that plot point and, like, looking at the story in and of itself is certainly going to be is certainly going to be fun regardless. But I do think overall it's probably going to be, is it a Warner Brothers game? If it's a Warner Brothers game, it's probably going to be mid. I don't know. We'll see. But the idea that, like, you know, you're going to be able to do, like, consumer side boycotting on a fucking game that, like, most people don't give a shit about is absolutely silly. Don't say that. WB are the only ones who give you sponsors. Okay, shut up. Yeah, Warner Bros. Games are fire. I know, you're right. I don't know why I said it like that. Yeah, people boycotting just want to feel like they are doing something. Exactly. Literally a reskin game, dude. Come on. Look, I've talked about this a million times over. Like, I don't even give a shit enough about this game to like withstand the backlash. But my point ultimately was that the fact that people are even talking about like potentially not playing this, or the fact that like a lot of people know that JK Rowling is a piece of shit, is good. Number one. Number two, what I was trying to say was like, hey, look, if you're gonna play the game, if a lot of streamers are like definitely interested in playing the game, if they don't want to, I wanted to potentially do like a fundraiser where you just, it's not, you don't have to do it, but I wanted to do a potential fundraiser where everyone who plays the game would then you know, donate the proceeds or raise funds for Trans Lifeline or charities that we pick. However, I do think that the negative backlash towards me would probably be way larger than like anything else, no matter how much we raised. So it's just like, I don't care enough to play this game. You know what I mean? Will I play the game ultimately, even if it is to cover it? Yeah, most likely. But do I play it online? Do I play it live? You know? I think that people saying just play a different game aren't even seeing the point of jumping on an already controversial game which brings eyes and more funds to charity. Exactly. And I personally think it would be funny to, I do legitimately think it's funny to fucking use JK Rowling's like IP to raise money for funds, to raise funds for charities. Ultimately, I'm not like that big of a Harry Potter geek, so it doesn't really matter to me, but I do think that there is humor in that, regardless of the fact that like she makes money. I know that you keep sending me that like royalties check tweet over and over again, but when you consistently talk about like the royalty check, like what you'd fail to understand is that she's a billionaire. Like she's getting those motherfucking checks, whether she already sold. You're basically admitting to the libs in here and on Twitter that they control your stream. Fuck them and their backlash. Well, yeah, it's too much headache. Yeah, it's way too much. Yeah, I just don't want to hear motherfuckers chirp nonstop. It like ruins my mood. And the reality is that like they can't fucking stop transphobia. They can't stop JK Rowling from being a transphobe. She's a fucking billionaire. So, but what can they do? Make me want to kill myself by being annoying every day in the stream. So they will do that instead. They can't get JK Rowling to kill herself, so they'll try and get the Twitch streamer who like raised money potentially for the trans charities of choice to kill himself instead. Somebody ultimately has to kill themselves in the end of this, okay? For liberals to be happy. What is this, Devin Art? I just don't care.
After this long.
Check Devin Art's message. Hasan, a trans friend of mine, worked really hard to make the game trans exclusive in the character creation section. I think what you do is good. Please check this. Yeah, there's like, that's the funniest part, is that there are like literal trans people and shit working on the fucking video game. It's just like, there are people in this community that have worked on this video game. So, you know, this kind of boycotting is just so silly regardless, but whatever. It's actually a good idea, and anyone thinks otherwise either woke scolding or doesn't know how content works. You're saying you'll be raising money for charity against the exact things people say are the reasons you shouldn't play the game. Play the game, call JK Rowling a transphobe, and donate huge money to our trans brothers and sisters and MBs. Yeah, I mean... Like, the reality is, if I don't play this fucking game, it will only be because I just don't want motherfuckers chirping at me. I'll tell you right now. Like, it doesn't matter how big of a fucking trans ally I am. It does not matter. People, radlibs especially. This is one issue that, like, radlibs love getting upset over. Consumer side activism of this sort. So that's where that will come from. So many of your haters who hate trans people would be running with it because they hate you more. Oh yeah, 100%. If it was an idea led by a trans content creator, it would be fun and there would be no problem. But since it's your idea, you'd be getting piled on by everyone. Hello? Have you met trans discourse? Are you insane? I would never let a trans content creator put themselves at the forefront of that conversation, because if there's one thing trans people hate more than like transphobia, it's other trans content creators. Okay? Are you fucking kidding me? Have you met a trans content creator? Trans people understand that cis people get away with way more transphobic shit because like they have that built-in understanding that like society is transphobic. So the fucking pedestal that they hold trans content creators to is like the microscope that they place trans content creators under is way worse. Also, every trans person is automatically a poster. So I think every trans person legitimately low-key thinks like I could be that person. So that it makes it so much worse. You a bitch. Unfollowed. What? Anyway. I think $60 payout to the game to what? I think a $60 payout to the game to raise. Well, first of all, I never said I would buy it. But even if I didn't, it doesn't matter. Me playing it as a Twitch streamer definitely markets it more. I mean, you motherfuckers started playing. There's people in this community that started playing Valorant, okay? Like, Twitch streamers demonstrably when they play. Can you please intervene before we have another Gamba scandal? I'm sure you went over this already, but man, some people in this chat really showed their colors last night. Leftists, but can't help themselves from being smarmy, condescending assholes during gaming, let alone this game. Well, I think part of it is also that like people fear the same backlash that I am also like I know for a fact that I will be receiving, right? So they are just like worried about that, and they don't want to fucking be like defending me on the internet or whatever when that happens. Suddenly they're evil and a terrible person. Was my fave last week though. Would rather they die this week. What is this? Let's see what this argument is.
Supporting JK Rowling is an act of hostility towards your trans friends. So obviously, don't buy Hogwarts Legacy. But also, just because something doesn't directly put money in...
Bro, it's like, listen, you want to know the truth? If this fucking Hogwarts Legacy game is as good as like Chick-fil-A sandwiches are, nobody will give a fuck about this, okay? That's just the reality. I don't know why people fucking make like this into this like weird political perspective. Gay people and trans people eat at fucking Chick-fil-A all the goddamn time. You want to know why? Because the chicken is good and the sauces are fucking dank. Okay? That's it. What happened? What happened to the fucking consumer side activism on that front? Because it doesn't matter ultimately. It literally doesn't matter. Like, no guy is going, oh man, I can't believe. No one is going to go, oh man, this AAA title that is like going to literally be a blockbuster sales, is going to have blockbuster sales that's like only tangentially associated with JK Rowling's IP that she created many, many years ago, that every single person who's like built a career around at this point is like abandoned JK Rowling. It'll get review bombed. It'll get review bombed by like Normans probably, and then it'll get counter reviewed bombed by transphobes who'll give it like a 100%. It's like such a weird thing. So you are saying pre-ordering is transphobic, but once the reviews come out, it's okay? No. I'm not saying, dude, I don't think playing this fucking game is transphobic. You're delusional. What? I never even said that. That was funny because like you didn't even accuse me of like, you know, being a bad person or anything. You just like made up something that was weird. That like I certainly didn't say at all, but also like it didn't even, I don't know. Imagine going to work. But guys, people said Cyberpunk was transphobic, okay? But the reason why people didn't end up playing Cyberpunk was because they were just unable to. And Cyberpunk was not transphobic. Like, everything. Like, it's crazy. I just don't know. I don't know how to, like, I've argued about this shit a bunch of times. And I do think it's, like, ultimately counterproductive, silly, and dumb. I don't know. Who cares? What is this?
I don't care.
SJWs don't buy Hogwarts Legacy. JK Rowling is transphobic. I mean, most people are going to be like that. I don't care. SJW is a game has anti-Semitic undertones and forces you to stop a slave uprising. I'm actually more interested in the anti-Semitic undertones and the fact that it like forces you to stop a slave uprising and covering that than anything else, really. When I think about it, I feel like that's way, way, way more interesting than like JK Rowling being a transphobe, which is like established. Everybody fucking knows it. I'm gonna not be able to stop playing with my hair now that I fucking got it. Everyone in here is spending so much effort rationalizing support for hateful people businesses because they just want to be mindless consumer drones that keep their treats. They want someone else to solve the problem. This is counterproductive in my opinion. Or they personally understand that like playing a fucking video game or watching a fucking movie is not activism, just like stopping yourself from watching a movie or playing a fucking video game is not activism. Which it isn't. Sorry to break it to all of you motherfuckers, but it's not. It is just like literally the most liberal way of looking at things, and it's built on the fundamental plank of powerlessness.
Into her pocket does not mean that she's not making money off of it. Whether it's a Harry Potter themed birthday party or a TikTok video, or you go around for an icebreaker saying your Hogwarts house, none of those things are going to actually give JK Rowling directly money. But what they do give her is cultural significance. Because if the people who decide what movies or games or books to make look at the world and see that everyone is still talking about Harry Potter, of course they're going to make more Harry Potter. They want money, and that's a great way to get it.
Yeah, most people also like Harry Potter. and they literally want to make more Harry Potter. What is JK Rowling's involvement with the game? Is this a new story? JK Rowling is not involved in the creation of the game, but as the creator of the wizarding world and one of the world's greatest storytellers, her extraordinary body of writing is the foundation of all projects in the wizarding world. This is not a new story from JK Rowling. However, we have collaborated closely with her team on all aspects of the game to ensure it remains in line with the magical experiences fans expect. Okay, well, the official FAQ literally still says, like, JK Rowling is goated. I feel like bullying people into not buying the game will have the opposite effect people think it would have. I feel like it would increase hatred. I just, like, all of that stuff is tangential. Or not tangential, sorry. All of that stuff is marginal, okay? It's marginal. It's marginal. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to individually annoy some people, okay? But those people are not going to become transphobic. They were already transphobic. Society is fucking transphobic. Hello. Like, JK Rowling isn't transphobic because she, like, personally decided one day that a trans person offended her. She's transphobic because she's British, and that's her culture, okay? She can't stop herself from being transphobic. British people are so fucking transphobic that even when Scotland's like, hey, yeah, like, let's do something about this gender stuff, they're like, no, you will not. I will stop you. How dare you? Halt. Okay, that's just how it is. They can't stop. They can't stop themselves. Halt now. Cease. Austin, I summarized the pros and cons for you. Hasan plays Hogwarts Legacy. Most money raised for trans charity ever. Gets non-political streamers involved to support pro-trans message to their fans. Headlines about bigot JK Rowling's game being used for transgender activism. People donate even more despite JK Rowling. Some viewers find the game fun and buy it. JK Rowling's still a billionaire. Hasan doesn't play Hogwarts Legacy. No money for actual trans people. JK Rowling's still a billionaire. Well, people are still going to fucking turn around and say it doesn't matter because, like, Hasan could raise money for trans people without playing this game, which is an adequate fucking answer. Except if you're looking at it from a utilitarian perspective, if you're like that fucking interested in this, then the reality is no, way more eyeballs when I play Hogwarts Legacy versus and way more money raised versus when I raise it on my own for some other shit. Also, one of the funniest parts about this is literally that Harry Potter and the franchise in and of itself is like pretty basic. Like, I loved it when I was growing up. Yeah, so it's not an adequate answer at all. Wait, no, I already gave it a counter. Yes, this is way more PR, way more media involved, directly fucking cutting a message behind across it. Yeah, here's what I was talking about. It will be funny though. It will be funny when people are just like, "Wow, Hasan really fucking Hasan is such a transphobe." Like, you know how it is. Hasan is such a transphobe. Look at him platforming JK Rowling. My main question is, do you think the game looks fun? I don't think it's transphobic to play it. I just think the game looks bad. Well, I did grow up with the Harry Potter franchise, so like part of me, I mean, you saw that when I went to Universal Studios. You saw how much I weebed out there. So it probably would be good. If you do the fundraiser, you have to bring this shirt back. Oh yeah, I love this. I was bat chesting pretty hard. Damage done to leftism by continuing to paint us as anti-fun freaks does more damage than not playing helps, in my opinion. Yeah. Wow, I've never even heard of JK Rowling or Harry Potter until Hasan platformed them. Thanks. Anyway. At least you don't have takes about the game like this, brain dead. By buying this game, you support transphobic values. I say as the metal in my cell phone used to record this video was mined by child slave labor. I mean, but that's not wrong. Like, sure, this is coming across like a reactionary take, but it's literally true. There is no ethical consumption under capitalism. He is right. The Act Man, whether or not he's reactionary or whatever the fuck, whether or not you like him, this statement is true. Every component of your life, and you have to recognize this at some point. Sometimes people who are right-wing or reactionary, I don't know if he is, but like, those people sometimes make correct points. This is one of those instances. It's a correct point. It's just in the now, in the moment. He's saying this to defend consumerism and capitalism. When leftists say it has the same effect whether they want it or not. Yeah, I mean, it's just... You might be doing this to defend consumerism and capitalism, but ultimately, it is the truth. It doesn't matter. It's still the truth. Everybody loved when I fucking played Call of Duty, and that shit was like baked in with an infinite amount of fucking Western imperialist agitated propaganda. But now it'll become a point of discourse, and people will get like really fucking annoyed, and people will say I'm transphobic, and people will like fuck me up in the QRTs or whatever. And then like every like random account, every random like sock them trans account that already fucking hates me will have their opportunity to be like, Hasan sucks. He's always been a transphobe. 30,000 likes, whatever, yada yada. I don't care about all that stuff. I do care about it as it impacts my mental health, obviously. I care about it to that degree because it does then also cuck the content a little bit when I do feel so sad because there's always like a sea of like hate rating coming in. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's it. Does anyone know if JK donates to anti-trans causes? What do you mean donate? She is the anti-trans cause. As a billionaire, she has set up anti-trans causes. Here it is. For me, in particular, you mentioned not supporting Chick-fil-A and not supporting Harry Potter is the same. I think there's a difference, though, between the owner of the IP who has little control over the evolution of their work and a corporation donating to anti-LGBT organizations. Don't think they still do that. Wait, what? Chick-fil-A still absolutely does that. The guy who owns it does it. And ultimately, it doesn't matter because the chicken is good. JK Rowling also still does it, but doesn't have the same level of control over the fucking IP that, like, the Chick-fil-A owner does. Fuck you mean?
That's the idea.
That's actually kind of funny. There is no...
score is up for 2 months.
Hi. There is no ethical consumption under capitalism.
She's right.
It's fair. Hi. Durf, thank you for the 2 months.
So playing the Harry Potter game is less worse than eating at Chick-fil-A. I mean, it doesn't matter. We shouldn't have to deal with so many haters in the chat. Like, obviously, there'll be some, but so many all the time is exhausting as a viewer. Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, no, JK Rowling is like a uniquely awful, uniquely evil person. But the reason why everybody talks about her all the fucking time is because she's like Elon Musk. She can't shut the fuck up. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's it. If she just shut the fuck up, shut her stupid fucking mouth up and just like lived in her castle or whatever the fuck she did, instead of being the most smarmy, annoying fucking turf on the goddamn planet, nobody would give a shit. That's it. That's why people are terminally online. Everything that we perceive as activism happens on the internet. And basically that's it. That's it. That's the reason. Saying JK Rowling is evil is a wild take, and that's coming from a pretty big snowflake myself. Wait, what? Dude, no, I think she objectively is a bad person. What the fuck do you mean? That's not a wild take. She unironically and objectively is an evil person. If you look to like one of the most universally marginalized communities and say those guys are the villains that run society, and I'm going to do everything in my power to increase their fucking suicide rates, you are literally like, I don't even know what words to use when I'm talking about like how big of a scumbag you are. Okay. You made billions of dollars off of an IP that like a lot of people loved. Okay. And then you turned around and now use every fucking moment of freedom that you have to just like shit on some of the most marginalized people in society. It's straight up evil. It's literally like turning around and being like, yeah, we should actually kill more babies in Yemen. You know what I mean? Like I'm pro baby murder in Yemen. Actually, I've decided. I'm pro war on terror in Iraq that has led to higher birth defects than fucking Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You know, that's what it feels like. It's insane. What she's doing is awful. She's the awful person. But it's not because... But there are plenty of awful people. The systems are designed in an awful way. What you fail to recognize is that it's not that she's also uniquely awful. She can't shut the fuck up. That's the main reason. Because she thinks she's right. She's smarmy. And she's constantly fucking going around and just chirping about how trans people suck. That's it. That's it. That's the big difference. That's what differentiates her from like every other British person. You know what I mean? Plenty of British people are TERFs. They can't help themselves. This is how they are. You know? It's just a fundamental part of being British. That's it. But like I said, I mean, this is a great example. The UK government blocking Scotland's new gender recognition law. Like TERF Island, dude. Going absolute bananas over here. At a time when like Scottish independence is actually becoming more and more prominent, the UK literally oversteps its fucking boundaries and blocks a new law intended to allow trans people in Scotland to change their legal gender without a medical diagnosis. That's insane. Like, what are they trying to do? Are they trying to get Scottish people to just like definitely want to leave? Like, I feel like they hate, like a lot of Scottish people probably don't like trans people, I'm sure. You know what I mean? As is the case in most other places. But they really don't like British people, right? So we'll see. It'll be like two competing values. Who do we hate more? Trans people or the fact that like we're cucked to the English? Anyway. For the record, like, you said cross-dress and play the Hogwarts game while raising money. I would love that. No, dude, are you kidding me? Then people are gonna get mad at me and say, people on Twitter literally said it's transphobic to cross-dress. No, that'll get people even more mad. Okay. I don't want to play this game because the creator thinks I don't deserve to exist. It may not make a difference, but it's funny to see all the reactionaries lose their minds over this take. I don't think it's just that. I think it's people saying, like, if you play this game, if you play a video game that is built on the IP of, like, a notoriously transphobic person, that means you hate trans people. And, like, most people don't want to recognize that, but, like, most people do hate trans people, I think. Like, that's just the reality. The unfortunate reality is that is the case, right? Or at most, they are indifferent to trans existence. And then, like, when people chime in about how they are transphobic, despite their indifference, they'll just be like, oh, well, fuck you. That's not true, but you're being mean. I don't like that. But because they're slanted towards transphobia, as it pertains to like the way our systems are designed, they're easily turned over to being like expressly transphobic. Yeah. Love it from this angle. Okay, how about you fucking cut that shit out? Okay, stop. I'd say most people are indifferent to trans people in my culture. Yeah, there definitely seems to be more hate in the West. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I just can't believe you're siding with them after what they've done and caused is way more complicated than how you make it up to be. These issues are not black and white. Please have more consideration to what you're doing. Ya Zahrani? What? Siding with who? I think like people don't understand my nuanced position on consumer side activism in general and like liberalism in general as well. And this is not a new take that I've had. It's an old take. It's as old as the top of the hour ad break. You know what I mean? Which comes at the top of every hour. You already know it. You know? It's just it plays a fundamental role in this stream. Now, the top of the hour ad break is 3 minutes. And of course, if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. There are ways to avoid it. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Right? Luna Lux 9, thank you for the 5 get the subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads. But here's the 5 minute, what the fuck? Here's the 3 minute ad break now. Do you think it saves more trans lives to play this game over just some other outlandish shit while fundraising? Then fine, but it's valid to disagree with that. Everybody chill. I fucking said it wrong. Hasan, I disagree, and I shall not expand on this. That's it. Okay. That's good. I like that. That summarizes like 90% of people's commentary. I'm angry. I don't know why. I'm just going to say that I'm angry, and the only person that will listen to me being angry is you, so sorry. You have to be the one who takes on my anger on this day. Yeah, I was on the Throwing Fits podcast, by the way.
Throw gang. Someone call a urologist because his stream's going crazy. He must have Tourette syndrome because he always be twitching. Lord of the Live, the king of commentary. Call him my penis the way he leans left. His house must be reflective because it's 3M. He puts the hun and keep it in 100. The supreme leader of socialism. Ironic. The voice of the left, call him Lil Turk. He got sobering views. He going cold turkey. The woke base slave. You pay e-girls to watch. He stay getting e-girl top. Tell Tucker Carlson to gargle his bald son. Streamer and political commentator Hasan Piker. Hasan, how the hell are you?
Bro, that was not what I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
I was not expecting that to be the start of this.
Throw.
That's the fit you wore on a fit podcast, Lamau. It's a good fit. What the fuck you mean? It's John's, as they say. That's a decent fit. Can you give your rundown on your consumer side activism take? I think you can help those like myself who are confused / hurt. You're hurt that if you're hurt that I might be considering doing a Hogwarts Legacy stream with the express purpose of education, as I'm a political commentator / person who like fundraises for these sorts of things all the goddamn time, I don't know what to tell you. But as far as like my consumer side activism take goes, unless things are like very well organized, like the original BDS movement, not the Palestinian one, but the original BDS movement on top of the apartheid, the South African apartheid, which was paired with legislation and had like the express purpose of ending the apartheid. Consumer side activism doesn't work on its own, especially because like every single thing that you consume is done in completely unethical means. It's touched by transphobes. It's directly fucking supporting transphobic people, homophobic people, racist people. That's it. It's just the real activism works on the labor side. I get what you mean about consumer activism, but honestly, as a trans person, it just feels like you couldn't care less about what we've been saying about this game for a while now. If you're still planning on potentially playing it at this point, please don't ban me. I love your content, but there's just lots of better games to play, fundraise for. I mean, I don't. Like, it's just true. This is something that I've thought about myself many, many times over, as it pertains to every single type of thing that I cover and consume. It's true. Like, sometimes I tell you very openly how I feel. This is nothing to do with like, like ultimately I don't personally care about the individual opinions and feelings. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm not even set on playing it, but the fact that I'm even considering it to do it as like a fundraiser is like, that is enough for people to be upset at me. Then, it is what it is. But ultimately it doesn't matter because like I said, it's more so the, ironically, the fact that you're being more transparent about this will get you even more canceled amount. Yeah. It's funny that like I will get pre-canceled even if I don't end up playing the game. I'm not like personally attacking trans people. I mean, that's crazy. It's the same shit as the tweet. Everything else aside, you went wrong telling trans folk what to and what not to be upset about. What? Okay. I don't think people understand. This is probably one of the largest safe spaces for trans people on the internet. This is an objective fact. Okay? People understand that. But the way that this community has been cultivated, okay? The way that this community has been cultivated over a sea of controversial opinions and over a sea of controversial takes is not because I have takes that are appealing to the trans community, which always is in a state of disarray regardless, okay? And is constantly infighting regardless. It's because I talk not to trans people, but to transphobic people. I have been very open about this sentiment from the jump. My goal is not to cut content specifically for trans people. I'm not trans. I don't know I don't know what the trans existence is like beyond someone who is just, watching from afar, okay, with an empathetic lens. You know what I mean? Which is why trans people can come in here and know that this is a place where like transphobic people come and no longer become transphobic. Then why do you claim this is a safe space? Well, this is as safe a space you can get as it's still, well, it's still educational. I've never said that this is like a full-blown safe space. This is a learning space. This is a fun space. There's going to always be things that hurt people's feelings. It will never be a 100% safe space. I don't stream to like you and 12 other people in your fucking Discord, dingus, okay? I stream to 30,000 to 40,000 people every fucking day. You crazy? That's a stadium full of motherfuckers. You think that's going to be safe? No, of course not. I've never said that this is a safe space. I said that this is one of the safest places that you can go to entertain yourself. Imagine if Muslim chatters acted like this when you played COD. Hasan, I can't believe you don't care about me and about people who don't value my existence by playing COD. Yeah. Which, by the way, like, I haven't played Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know what the fucking, entire storyline is, but I'm pretty sure it's not directly fucking shitting on trans people in the same way that COD shits on Muslim people and anyone that America decides to be their enemy. So there is that too. You legit said it's a safe space, though. Like, what? Word for word. Okay. I'm going to describe this one more time for you. A place where controversial subject matter is discussed with Normans with the express goal of converting Normans into more understanding and empathetic individuals is never going to be a fully safe space in the same way that your dumbass, furry, aromantic, asexual Discord server is, okay? That's 13 people in your fucking Discord server. That's entirely different than this fucking arena, this stadium full of people. Please put this in your thick, dense skull, okay? This is not for you. It's not your fucking personal, living room. It's not. I have, since day one, explained my ultimate goal. Okay? My ultimate goal is not to serve you and 12 of your fucking friends who can't agree on anything anyway. Shut your stupid, narcissistic fucking mouth. And stop trying to center yourself in this conversation. Anyway, it's safe in the sense that if someone says transphobic shit, like openly transphobic shit, when we're discussing trans issues, for example, right? And we're currently discussing trans issues, and notice how little transphobia is popping off in the chat. I wonder why. I wonder how. Because it's safe enough. Okay? And that's precisely the reason why 13% of this community is fucking trans. A much higher percentage than, like, average. Because you as a trans person can come in here and know that, like, no one is going to be able to, like, just say insanely transphobic shit and get away with it. Okay? That's it. It's a safe space in that you know the creator will be on your side as a trans person. Traditional LGBTQ plus spaces are safe in a way that they are made and cultivated by LGBTQ people. Different definitions of the same concept. Yeah, 100%. How much of your viewer base is gay? I don't remember, but it is unsafe for transphobes and contrarians like that dumbass weasel voice. I'm Hasan. You just said it's safe. Yeah. while I do understand and recognize the value that safe spaces provide people who are marginalized, okay, this is, of course, never going to fit your expectations of a full-blown safe space because we cover controversial subjects all the goddamn time. And one of the things that I always mention is that I will always be understanding as a person who is from a privileged background. I will always be understanding to those who demonstrate their willingness to learn, even if they themselves are ultimately even homophobic, transphobic, because that's the expectation. That's social conditioning. That's how it works. 56% of the community is straight. Anyway. And my goal ultimately, as someone who recognizes that the systems themselves are inherently slanted against marginalized people, I recognize that the product of that, the byproduct of those systems are, well, it's not worth it for you to play this game unless the Elden Ring type banger. JK's already a billionaire. Stop consuming shit won't make a difference. So whatever in this game doesn't sell a single copy. Yeah. Listen, I recognize that a lot of people are going to have, have these sorts of opinions. They're socially conditioned into believing these sorts of opinions. My goal is to change their minds so you can have a larger community full of people who no longer are transphobic. A lot of people still listen to JK Rowling. I have friends who do it. It's annoying as fuck. She's still relevant because of that annoying shit. Yeah. Have you blasted off yet? Oh, no, I blasted off. It's been an hour since I started. Yeah, of course I blasted off. You made me learn a lot of new things. Yeah, that's the goal. Your new haircut makes you look like you're about to commit an anti-trans hate crime. The mullet goes both ways. It either means you can be trans or you're a TERF. I wish we could just let the game die out quietly rather than continuing to give it any attention. Yeah, but you understand that, like, most people, if you understand that most people are just, like, inherently either at its best just, inconsiderate to trans people, and at its worst, like, openly against trans existence, then you recognize that, it's just, that's not going to happen. Like, people don't even care about it. People are not even considering that when they are potentially purchasing the game. You feel me? They're just personally thinking about whether they like the IP or not. That's it. Ultimately, though, I think it would really upset. I do think that it would most likely upset JK Rowling if we raise like $1 million for Trans Lifeline. You know what I mean? It's already the top selling pre-order game on Steam before I even opened my mouth about it. I think that'd be pretty funny. Fuck TERFs. Yeah. The new IP that JK Rowling has, by the way, as a transgender I think pointed out, is more so about like what trans women being murderers or whatever, which nobody's reading. Turf brain, dude. I'm telling you, you make Harry Potter, and then your brain breaks, and you have turf brain. Oh, by the way, Thamazius, thank you for the playlist. And then all of a sudden, you're just not making good content anymore. You're just making mid. Considering how like normalized transphobia is, the worst aspect of turf brain isn't necessarily that like, you know, you're transphobic. Many people are. But it's like your content is so fucking mid afterwards. Turf brain. Turf is a trans exclusionary radical feminist. A lot of these people aren't even fucking feminists really, but we still call them that. Chambers, Ceases, and Gilderoy Lockhart was actually referring to her copying HP from the original author, and then Obliviate. What? I know you guys keep sending me this as an own. I read my most recent royalty checks and find the pain goes away pretty quickly. How do you sleep at night knowing you've lost the whole audience from buying your books? First of all, she hasn't. Like, I read most of my recent royalty checks and find the pain goes away fairly quickly. Okay, they already bought the IP to make the game. So what's up? My point is, go cyberbully JK Rowling instead of cyberbullying other people who are like trying to turn this otherwise negative thing that you're not going to be able to stop no matter what happens into somewhat a relatively positive experience. With a relatively positive message associated with it. It's so fucking stupid. Like and by the way, it doesn't work. You're not going to get JK Rowling to kill herself, okay? Through cyberbullying her. You're just not. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's just not. But you know that already, which is why you're like hyper focusing on this community instead. You're hyper focusing on like where you come to consume content every day. You should be the same as JK. You can look at the charity check and feel good about yourself. I can't. Because my fucking job requires me, and the way that I've designed and the way that I want to make content requires me to directly interact with people, some of which are unhinged motherfucking haters, every goddamn day. You can get banned for saying that. I think before you speak is your job. Okay, you know what I mean when I say cyberbullying. Like every interaction on the internet is cyberbullying.